This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends. What's happening? This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man, and we're coming to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios. As you know, 7milecasino.com. We got a lot we want to get to today, including the Padres, kind of our daily look at spring training, what's going on with the potential of a Major League Soccer team coming to San Diego. We're going to get to that story coming up in a matter of moments. Brian Dutcher and the Aztecs and the win last night for San Diego State. Alex is going to update us on San Diego State basketball and just a bunch of stuff we want to get to. But I'm jumping right in. Grande, Brown Man. First and foremost, Peter Seidler, the Padres owner. Man, great mustache. Anybody checking out Seidler's stash?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I couldn't grow that if I tried. It could take me months. I just saw a picture of Peter Seidler, like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago on Facebook. He and his wife, Sheil, were playing pickleball or tennis or something. I don't remember seeing this gigantic stash on his face. This is a good-looking stash. This is a hard mustache to grow, I think, and very solid looking. What do you guys think?
Has Browner seen it?
Brown, you seen this stash?
I'm not into mustaches, man. They look dumb.
Yeah, but wait a second. Hold on. Before we even look at Seidler's, what's that thing that you got going on? What is that?
This ain't no mustache, bro.
I wouldn't call it that either. But it's something on your lip.
This ain't no mustache, fam. I wouldn't consider this no mustache. This is how my hair grows, bro. This ain't never like stretched out to no beard or nothing like that. That's as much as it gets, man. So I don't necessarily consider this like no mustache. This ain't styled. This ain't trimmed. This ain't got no works on it. This ain't nothing, man. Sometimes this part, where is it? Sometimes that part don't grow. Like,
well, why don't you just shave your upper lip? I mean, hair over an upper lip is by definition
You have a
mustache.
That's probably true by your definition, but I don't consider it that.
The hair on your lip is dumb?
Yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb. Don't do nothing. What's it for? No reason.
So while Seidler's mustache you think looks dumb because you're not into mustaches,
Mm-hmm.
yours also looks dumb?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not like, yeah, it looks dumb. What you got that for?
Mm-hmm.
What's
Why
the point
do you
of
got
it?
that? Why you got that for?
What you gonna do with that dumb mustache?
Protection
what are you
from
gonna
the
do?
sun.
What are you gonna do with that dumb mustache, Browner?
I'll shave it off right now if I had my manscape around. I'm not partial to this thing, bro. It could go, it could stay. I'm not like whatever. Zoom, gone.
All right. Well, Peter Seidler, serious mustache, bro. I mean, that is a good-looking mustache, and I say it like that because I'm one of these guys that can't grow one. So I'm jealous.
Mustache?
What do you mean I can?
You can't grow a
You've
mustache?
grown one before.
Yeah.
No, I've grown a very lame goatee.
Wait a minute. Time out. So
What?
you're going to tell me that this is a mustache, but when you grow a goatee, which includes the top, that's not a mustache, bro?
No, it is. I mean, it's just a bad one because I can't grow it. You know what I mean?
No. But like, you can grow a mustache if you can grow a goatee. You just choose to not shave it like a mustache only.
No. What I'm saying is that like I would never have a nice, thick, bushy stash like what Peter Seidler has. Peter Seidler has a man's mustache. I have like a 12-year-old boy mustache.
Point is, there's hair on top of your lip that you can grow.
Facts.
Yeah, just not really well, not thick and nice and lush. Not like Peter's.
Thicker than Browner's.
Yeah.
No, I'd say less than Browner's.
Because yours is more full. I remember yours being. I don't know where to find it, but like yours is like all the way to your nostrils, all the way. Like it's a very thick, rounded. You could see the outline of it right now.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shadow.
Dude. Nice try. You're gonna pull that over.
Well, I think why not start growing a mustache for spring training and join Peter Seidler?
Is that what that is? Is that a spring training stash? Is that a spring stash?
I don't know. Seen Trent Grisham and Matt Carpenter also rocking stashes right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's a Padres spring training thing. I think they're the only three though.
All right. Well, Browner's got one. He's 4.
Mm-hmm.
You got a full beard.
First of all, don't do that to me. This is not for any occasion at all.
That's not your spring training mustache, Browner?
No, that's my face.
Oh, all right. Maybe I'll try. All right, let's hear what Peter Seidler said, because there was, it's kind of like a beginning of spring training kind of meeting, and the manager talks and the owner comes in, and the owner, hey fellas, this is our year and we've done it. We got this roster and we spent the money and we got the superstars and we're great and it's World Series or it's bust. And so, out from this meeting, the reporters are now waiting and let's take a listen to what some of Peter Seidler had to say.
So should we start with what we've been talking about in Manny Machado?
Oh, great. Yeah, Manny Machado. We had a whole conversation yesterday about Manny Machado, the offer that they made him, when they made it, how much it was for, how many years, was it insulting? I saw a lot of the chatlins yesterday in the YouTube chat saying, you're damn right it was insulting. If Manny Machado were going to be given an extension offer, it should be for more than the $30 million he currently gets paid. Mm-hmm. But the extension that they offered really takes his annual average down quite a bit.
We got a lot of comments saying, what is there even to negotiate when they're so far apart? Like, people have already kind of almost thought, like, from the comments that I've seen, there's like, well, he's gone. They're that far apart that there is no negotiating.
Not to mention, he goes yesterday, or maybe it was late last week, where he tells everybody standing in his locker, well, I told you I'm opting out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not, I'm not hiding that from anybody.
Right.
I'm opting out. Why wouldn't I? So here's what Peter Seidler, is that what we're going to hear, Alex? Tell us what we're going to hear.
Yes, he was asked about Manny Machado passing the deadline and what he thinks of re-signing him, extending him.
I really hesitate to talk about hypothetical situations with whether it's with a free agent player or one of our own. I will say Manny is my top priority.
All right. Manny is my top priority.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, it's hard for me to really listen to anything that he's saying because I'm just focused in on the mustache.
Yeah.
And then, all right, what else? So look, Manny's my top priority. Okay, great. Well, I think a lot of Padre fans would have liked to have seen this been signed, sealed, and delivered before today, before spring training is really like fully underway, because it leaves something open and out there. And I'm just telling you this right now. If Manny Machado starts to get pissed, I'm not saying that he's not going to play or play as well as he could. I'm just saying that you want a happy Manny. You don't want a pissy Manny, is all I'm trying to get at. You feel me?
It's also maybe a deadline he put in place because he's going to leave spring training to go play in the World Baseball Classic. So he's not going to be around. Maybe. I don't know. I think it's a fake deadline. I think it's all part of negotiating. But you guys know I think everything's fake, so no surprise here.
Exactly.
Right. The world is a simulation. Is that right? Are you one of those
No,
guys?
I just can see behind people's, BS.
Okay. All right. What else should we hear from Peter Seidler?
Oh, have you guys heard of the MLB or Major League Baseball creating a economic reform committee in regards to the spending that is happening in New York with Steve Cohen and the Mets and here in San Diego? They try to put it over we also have to worry about, broadcast deals and the whole economic state of baseball. But really, people have took it as they formed this economic reform committee to kind of investigate really what the Mets and Padres are doing. And Peter Seidler and everyone has been asking if what the Padres are doing is, quote, sustainable. He was asked about that word in particular.
Do you believe it's sustainable, Peter?
Seems like people love that word. Yeah. Let's find a different one. Do I believe our parade is going to be on land or on water or on both? Putting a great and winning team on the field in San Diego year after year is sustainable. Believe we have a great chance to go after that trophy and to deliver to San Diego its first parade, and with a great deal of seriousness and humility, but the overall theme is we're here to win a title. That's what I expect.
Again, I can't even love Peter, love the mustache, focusing too much on the stash and less about what he's saying, because he's really not really saying much,
Let me say something about this sustainability question area problem. All this does is expose owners in baseball, so they don't like it. They don't like people exposing them. If you live in New York and Steve Cohen and all that money, people are okay with that because New York's a big market and they expect for him to find a way to make that up. Or New York should have this big flashy team because it's New York City, whether it's the Mets or the Yankees. So people understand that. For the San Diego Padres to do that, that's rubbed people the wrong way, because now what Peter Seidler is doing and his group, because they're rich people. Poor people don't own these teams, okay? Nobody who owns these teams have a job. Okay, so let's.
You mean nobody's working at Chick-fil-A? Nobody's
Right.
flipping burgers at McDonald's?
Correct. These people don't get given vacation time. They tell you when to go on vacation, okay? These are the people who own these teams. And so when someone like Peter Seidler and his group does this kind of spending, if I'm in Cincinnati, because San Diego's been told this is a small market for so long, if I live in Cincinnati, I'm looking at my owner going, what are you doing? If I'm in Colorado, that jerk, I'm looking at him going, what are you doing? And so forth and so on. So therefore, what Peter Seidler's doing is putting pressure on other owners who are in quote unquote small markets to figure out a way, why aren't you guys doing what he's doing when all of you are rich? Like, this idea that these guys can't afford it is a lie. They're all rich.
You are saying what I said last week in a different way. Rob Manfred asked this question as well, right? And everybody got pissed off at Rob Manfred. Who does Rob Manfred work for? Those cheap ass owners that Browner's talking about. Yeah. There's more owners spending less money than there is owners spending Peter Seidler money.
Yes.
So who is being hurt here? Those owners in Pittsburgh, in Cincinnati, in Baltimore, in wherever else you want to name.
Kansas City, Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Keep going.
Yeah. Exactly. When someone comes in and Khaleesi's this whole thing and they want to break the wheel, it ruffles feathers. So did you
say when somebody comes in and wants to Khaleesi this thing?
Yes.
So you're using now a Game of Thrones reference that everybody should now be able to get in sports vernacular. Like when you Khaleesi something, what exactly are you doing?
Well, she had a quote about how, I'm trying to remember specifically, how she was working with Tyrion Lannister and he was advising her already at this point of the show. And he was telling her, if you want to stop the wheel of how the current system works for the throne, you have to do this and this and this. And she goes, I'm not trying to stop the wheel. I'm trying to break the wheel, or I'm going to break the wheel, I think she said.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Peter Seidler's doing. He's not coming in here to be like Pittsburgh and to be like Cincy and collect those revenue checks and be cool with it. He's coming in here to drop 2 middle fingers on everybody and be like, me and my partners, we got a lot of money and we're about to come in here and win a championship and be a sustainable winning organization. And people don't like that.
Yeah, and Browner, I got to say,
by the way, that was a fantastic reference off the top of
it was incredible. I mean, the way you used it, and I just wanted a little clarity around it, because I'm going to guess, Browner, that you didn't get the whole he's going to Khaleesi this thing.
I don't even know who she is.
Right.
I'm assuming that's a she, because he did say she.
Right. So that's why, Alex, I wanted to just put a pause in there for a second.
Yes.
B, because like yesterday, we had this whole conversation about thirst traps and what my definition of a thirst trap is versus what yours might be. Clearly, we've already had a discussion today about our definition of a mustache versus Browner's.
Yes.
And now to know that Peter Seidler is going to come in here and Khaleesi that mofo, you got to understand what Khaleesiing a mofo means.
Right.
So good job.
Thank you. But there is, spoiler alert, Khaleesi never did get the throne. So you hope that he doesn't fully Khaleesi this thing and he can eventually ascend to the throne. But yeah, you know what I mean? He's not coming in here to be part of the mold. He's coming in here to break the mold, and they've done it so far.
But Browner, you're exactly right. The Padres are now making the other quote unquote small market owners. The Padres are making them look bad.
Yeah.
If the Yankees spend the top money in baseball or the Mets have the highest payroll because they've got a guy who's worth $10 billion as their owner, who's willing to throw his own money at this thing. He don't care about how much money the team makes per se. These upper echelon guys like Steve Cohen, like now Peter Seidler, upper echelon spenders in baseball, their philosophy is different. In Cincinnati or Pittsburgh, the philosophy is let's see if we can not lose a bunch of money by putting out a mediocre product. Look, our payroll is 35 million or 40 million. Okay. And our total cost to run this operation, I'm making up a number here, $50 million for the year. All we really need are like 10,000 people per home game to try and make that 50 million. The Padres, though, if their operating costs were, I'm just making up numbers, if their operating costs were 350 million, the Padres are thinking, one, let's put 40,000 in every night. And maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit. Two, let's raise our ticket prices, our beer prices, our merch prices, parking prices, etc., because people will pay for a good, winning, championship caliber product. And so in Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, using them as examples, they're just what the Padres used to be. Hey, we're not very good, but we have a great ballpark, and you should come and eat the food and drink the beer. Prices are pretty good. Parking's pretty easy. That's when they were just the small market Padres, and they weren't about winning championships, and all they were about was an entertainment experience. Now the business model is we'll give you the best entertainment experience, which includes being a championship contender, but we're going to charge the living hell out of you if you want to be here, and people will pay for it. Even in this economy, even in this quote unquote recession that we're in, even in this changing economy, that's what people will put their money into when they're crazed fans, and you're giving them the kind of product that they've always wanted.
And to Browner's point, let me just say this right now. If just the big four in quotes that the Padres have now in Machado, Tatis, Soto, and Xander Bogaerts, this year, the four of them combined will make $85 million. $85 million. That four players make more than the Marlins, Nationals, Royals, Guardians, Reds, Rays, Pirates, Orioles, and Athletics. Their entire payroll is less than those four guys.
See, and for me, how is that good for baseball? It's not. It's not. So either you find new owners for those teams or you dissolve them, because clearly there isn't enough good players to go around. Because if that's the issue, then you got too many teams, period. If every team can't contend because there's not enough players, or is it that every team can't contend because there's not enough owners willing to spend money to get some of these better players off these teams where they have high salaries?
It's more that. It's more the second part. It is.
Then baseball has a problem within its owners, and
Well,
they
they
need
do.
to get together.
That's why they're all pissed.
Yeah.
Because if the Yankees do it and the Mets do it and the Dodgers do it, and maybe on occasion if the Giants or the Cubs or the Phillies, teams that are considered major markets, if those teams overspend, so be it. Let them pay luxury taxes. But when little San Diego overspends, and I say overspends in quotes, that rubs all these mid-major market owner guys wrong.
And here is the bigger problem that baseball has is they still got to a record $11 billion in revenue last year with the formula they currently have. That was a record. That's the most they've ever generated ever. So when you have 11 organizations not spending like the Padres and they're still raking in record money, yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah.
All right. Because now not only are the owners pissed off, but that fan bases are getting pissed off.
Right, of course. Understandably so.
Yeah. And that's the larger issue is fan bases are now expecting stuff from those owners that they were not previously
How come the
expecting.
Padres can do it?
Exactly.
How come you can't? Right. All right. Stand by, everybody, because we still have a lot of other stuff coming up, including, is San Diego about to finally get a Major League Soccer team? Are we about to add to what we currently have, which isn't that much? Are we about to add another Major League sports team? We'll get there in just a matter of moments. Before we do, I want to just remind everybody about our friends over at iThrive.MD. Here's the phone number, 858-240-1497. I say the phone number because if you're driving around right now listening on radio, Dr. Samir Damani always tells me, he's like, when I drive around, I like to hear the phone number. So I'm like, okay, doc, I'll say the phone number a million times if that's what you want. 858-240-1497. Now that you got the number in your phone, go to the website, ithrivemd.com. Learn all about the iThrive Lean program. It is guaranteed to help you lose weight. It is fully FDA approved, Alex has lost 39 pounds already. You take one little injection once a week. That's all. Anybody can do it. It's pain-free, and it's going to change your life because you're overeating, you're under-exercising. That's why you're gaining weight, and you're not controlling things. This helps control your appetite so much that you ultimately learn, gosh, I didn't eat all this food. Why was I eating all this? Alex is down 39. Dr. Fry was down 30. You save $200 a month for the first 3 months. So call now. 858-240-1497. Go.
Say real quick. I was in there yesterday. They are so swamped and so busy because of this thing. So have a little patience. They will call you back. The doc is like hiring like crazy just to get back to people in their messages. So have a little patience for them and iThrive. They will get back
patience. Hey, patience. Have patience.
Yes.
Right.
He was so overwhelmed yesterday when I went in there. It's crazy over there.
Stuff works, man. All right, look, coming up. Is San Diego about to get another major league sports franchise? You can probably figure out what I'm talking about. We will get there. Coming up next, this is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man from the 7 Mile Casino Studios.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Brought to you by MedCline. Sleep better, feel better, live better. Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. Only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com.
I would like to say welcome to the River Road African American Museum. What we do here at the River Road African American Museum is connect the past to the present.
Our museum was founded in 1994 by my sister Kathy Hamburg and our family to actually talk about the history along the river here in South Louisiana. We've been around for about 29 years here in the Donaldsonville and Ascension Parish area, and have become one of the premier museums for the state of Louisiana when it comes to African American history.
When you think about Black history, what we want you to understand is that this is more than Black history. This is Louisiana history.
Sponsored by The Barnes Firm. Proud to support Black History Month. Car crash? Call 1-800-8-MILLION for a free consultation.
When someone you know has COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, things can progress very quickly, making them feel hopeless. But it doesn't have to be like this.
See, Mom, this place is going to be great for you. They're going to help you breathe better.
Pulmonary rehabilitation at La Mesa Rehab focuses on patient education and training. We use special therapies to improve your lungs, clear out mucus, and keep you out of the hospital. Pulmonary rehab is Medicare approved. Call now to see if you qualify or ask your doctor about La Mesa Rehab today.
Since 1975, San Diegans have trusted the Murray-Lampert family for their home remodeling projects. We continue our commitment to deliver high-quality home remodeling and construction to our customers without an expensive showroom.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring value to your home, our team has the experience to handle everything. Plus, our strong relationships with the city makes adding on easier for homeowners.
Visit murraylampert.com for your consultation.
The #1 disease in the world, according to World Health Organization, is dental disease. For 25 years, we've had one of the most leading group dental practices in the country. Imagine you're a parent, you're a mom or a dad, and you have a 2-year-old that doesn't get any cavities, and you have a 12-year-old that has a soda habit and gets a ton of cavities. Well, how do you determine what oral care products to get? It's really mind-boggling that currently there does not exist an oral care product company that specializes for kids. So we thought this is a great opportunity to get into that space and revolutionize oral care for kids. We have every single product that every parent needs for every person in that family. It's very comprehensive. The next thing is we customize your oral care products. Someone who has a lot of gum disease probably requires different sets of oral care products that someone has a very, very healthy mouth. And it's also conveniently shipped to your home every 3 to 6 months. Make sure you go to supermouth.com and check out all the educational content, and of course check out our profile builder to get the right products for every family member.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Brought to you by MedCline. Sleep better, feel better, live better. Listen to the Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the Mightier1090.com. We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew Show on the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Hey, everybody, it's Scott Kaplan from Kaplan and Crew. And with me right now is Rick Slider. He's the CEO of MedCline, which, by the way, is a pillow that is going to change your life. You have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm telling you right now. Rick, how you doing, man? Where do we find you today?
Scott, great to talk to you. I'm in sunny San Diego, a place you're pretty familiar with.
Yeah, I'm glad it's sunny out. I see the Padres stuff right over your head. That looks pretty cool. And some Beastie Boys. You got some cool stuff behind you.
We had a different sports team up on the wall for a while that had to be taken down, say half dozen years ago. But the Padres still flies prominently on the wall.
I love it, man. Hey, if you could, while we have this time together, can you tell everybody the backstory of MedCline and how you guys have become such a big San Diego company selling all over the world, and what the deal is with the MedCline systems?
Sure. MedCline started here in San Diego, started by a radiologist whose primary practice was at UCSD. And he was a longtime sufferer of heartburn and acid reflux. Tried everything, tried diet changes, was taking medication, proton pump inhibitors or PPIs that a lot of people take. But he was looking for a natural way to reduce his heartburn symptoms. And he found, through trial and error, that when he slept in an incline and when he slept on his side, his heartburn and acid reflux symptoms would dissipate. Because he's a doctor, he wanted to make sure that this just wasn't by chance. And so he set up some clinical studies using a system that he designed and patented. We got clinical trial results, found that there was a strong reduction in the esophageal acid that would take place during the night, reducing his symptoms. And with that, decided to create a product called MedCline and commercialized it a few years ago. And that is really how our company began, with his personal desire to stop his heartburn and reflux symptoms.
That's amazing. It really is amazing. Like when you have something wrong, you're like, I'm going to fix this problem. But you know what's amazing to me is that acid reflux is a problem that obviously a lot of people have. But for me, I have shoulder pain, chronic shoulder pain from the way I sleep, because I sleep with my arm over my head and then my pillow in between. So when I got my first MedCline, I didn't realize there's the reflux relief pillow, but there's the shoulder relief pillow. And it's completely changed everything for me. My shoulder pain has gone so far down because I'm no longer sleeping like this. I'm like underneath. And tell me about the shoulder pillow, please.
Sure. First of all, I'm so glad to hear that it's working for you. That's fantastic. Secondly, as we brought MedCline to the marketplace, we found that there were a number of individuals that benefited from therapeutic side sleeping beyond just those suffering from heartburn or GERD. And the primary use is for shoulder pain. And the reason I think people like you have been so comfortable with the MedCline is because of our patented arm pocket. When you try and sleep on your side and you have shoulder pain, you run the risk of your shoulder getting frozen, exacerbating pain that you might be feeling, whether it's due to rotator cuff, general shoulder soreness. And so our incline has a patented arm pocket that allows you to either rest comfortably on your elbow or to slide through, sounds like what you do, slide your arm through the system so you can stay at an elevation and sleep comfortably on your side throughout the night. And today, here in 2023, our shoulder product is actually our top seller. It surpassed those that suffer from heartburn and acid reflux, simply because there's more people with shoulder injuries across the country. And we're glad that we're able to help you out.
It's awesome. Hey, we don't have a lot of time, but in the last minute, would you just tell everybody how the MedCline products, though, have gone viral, particularly on TikTok. Just give us like a 30 or 60 seconds about what has happened.
You know, I'd love to say that I'm a marketing genius here, Scott, but really it's just about excited consumers sharing the benefits they get of MedCline. And it's amazing what happens when people finally can get a good night's sleep, how they're so excited to share that information. And recently, we've always been a part of social media, but recently we've kind of found a niche within TikTok. I didn't know that healthy sleep TikTok was a subgenre, but it really is. And with a few different posts, we've seen over just in the last 30 days, over 10 million people exposed to our MedCline products. So we're excited about the virality that this has created. I think it's in part because we have a 95% customer satisfaction rate. We know we can help people get a good night's sleep. It does take a while to adjust and sleep differently. But we're excited to see kind of the viral nature of our product grow, and we're excited to help out as many customers as possible.
It's awesome. I want to encourage everybody who's watching right now, go to medcline.com, medcline.com. Look at the different products. Know you're supporting a San Diego company, and I encourage everybody, sleep better with our friends from MedCline.
Drivers are getting in accidents at a rate we've never seen before, jumping 18% since 2020. There are higher incidents of speeding and more aggressive driving since the pandemic began. Please slow down and drive safely. It can save a life.
An ADU is an accessory dwelling unit, and it's become one of the most popular solutions to housing in the United States. We constructed this to provide housing for my mother, who is elderly.
Well, I wanted to downsize. At my age, that's what I wanted to do. Eric engaged the services of Murray Lambert, a top building company.
This is an 825 square foot structure, but it actually looks more like 1,000 because of the spatial considerations. Micah was great. He took the ball and ran with it and came up with this really great combination.
It always appealed to me, high ceilings. It gives a sense of space, of openness, and I like that. Oh, I would give this experience a 10 for sure. Plus, 10 plus.
Learn about the many health benefits of MedCline pillows, from easing shoulder pain, reflux relief, and just getting a great night of sleep. Watch Your Health only on Your View, Sundays at 4:30 p.m. Brought to you by MedCline. Sleep better, feel better, live better.
The number one disease in the world, according to World Health Organization, is dental disease. For 25 years, we've had one of the most leading group dental practices in the country. Imagine you're a parent, you're a mom or a dad, and you have a 2-year-old that doesn't get any cavities, and you have a 12-year-old that has a soda habit and gets a ton of cavities. Well, how do you determine what oral care products to get? It's really mind-boggling that currently there does not exist an oral care product company that specializes for kids. So we thought this is a great opportunity to get into that space and revolutionize oral care for kids. We have every single product that every parent needs for every person in that family. It's very comprehensive. The next thing is we customize your oral care products. Someone who has a lot of gum disease probably requires different sets of oral care products that someone has a very, very healthy mouth. And it's also conveniently shipped to your home every 3 to 6 months. Make sure you go to supermouth.com and check out all the educational content, and of course check out our profile builder to get the right products for every family member.
At the Barnes firm, we're seeing more pedestrian and bicycle accidents. Drivers are rolling through red lights, and distracted driving makes every intersection a danger zone for pedestrians. Look both ways when crossing, even if you have the right of way.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
Yo, what's going on, great friends? It's Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man, Wednesday afternoon from the 7 Mile Casino Studios. 7milecasino.com is the website. And if you're planning on playing blackjack, poker, or table games, If you want a really great brunch, lunch, dinner, Sammy's Woodfire Pizza is Sammy's Restaurant and Bar right there in the casino. Smoke-free and only 7 minutes south of downtown San Diego. That's 7 Mile Casino. Best place to go. And if you're a great friend and you support the show, you go play at 7 Mile Casino. All right, guys, before the break, I mentioned, is San Diego positioning itself now to get its next major league franchise? It sounds like, because it didn't even make it, to me, there wasn't even a question asked like who's next kind of a thing. It's just the commissioner of Major League Soccer offering in an interview setting that San Diego, and by the way, Las Vegas, these are the next cities that we, the MLS, want to expand into. So listen, you lose the Chargers, and obviously that ship has sailed. That thing is ancient history by now. And the Padres have completely taken over the town with the way that they've spent and the stars that they've signed and the winning and the last year beating the Dodgers. They've taken over the town. But there is more room for pro sports in a town that has great sports fans. I mean, just look last year. You guys both went to the female soccer, the NWL? NWSL, and the team, the Wave here in town, and they had 30,000 people at Snapdragon Stadium. So if the ladies, who by the way are great, and the organization had a monster first year, and they're going to, I'm guessing, going to be bigger and better this year.
The most famous soccer player in the United States plays there.
Alex Morgan, my girl, got kicked out of Qualcomm because of Alex Morgan. Well, it wasn't really because of her. It was because my daughters wanted to go meet her. And then I took my daughters down to meet her. And the PR guy from the U.S. Women's National Team told me by doing that, I had completely embarrassed and disrespected the entire event and had security throw me out of Qualcomm Stadium. And I knew all the security guys because I worked with all those guys for years. And they're like, sorry, man, I feel bad about this. I'm like, don't worry about it. Got my picture with Alex Morgan with my girls.
You get kicked out of everywhere, huh?
Well, I got kicked out of the Hotel Del last night. Yeah.
I
got kicked out of Qualcomm several years ago when the U.S. Women's National Team was playing there. Nonetheless, let's take a listen, Alex. Why don't you give us the setup as to what we're about to see and hear, and how this all became a story?
The MLS season's about to kick off. They're going into a new, not even television, a new media deal with Apple TV. All the games are now on Apple TV. There's going to be some on Fox and stuff like that. But it was a press conference kind of talking about that. And expansion came up. The MLS commissioner, Don Garber, like you said, not really asked specifically about San Diego or Las Vegas, said this about they currently have 29 teams. They're going to go looking for a 30th team. This is what he said about that expansion.
30th team will come at some point soon. Hopefully for media people, we would like to get that announced by the end of the year. Never thought we'd be at 28, never thought we'd be at 29. We say we're going to stop at 30, but the other major leagues are larger than that. I don't sort of ever say never in Major League Soccer. There are many other markets that are opportunities for us. I think San Diego and Las Vegas are the most likely opportunities for 30, but we don't have a team in Phoenix, we don't have a team in Sacramento, we don't have a team in Detroit, all big markets in our country. You know, you never know. Tampa's another big city. Soccer is exploding professionally everywhere on the professional side and the men's and women's side, so we'll see.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of other towns that get mentioned in there. I mean, Sacramento, Detroit, Tampa, Phoenix. I mean, these are all places where you'd like to go. And I think the MLS would be really smart to not feel like we got to just limit ourselves to 30. But nonetheless, the way the commissioner, Don Garber, sort of offers in advance of, hey, here's a bunch of other towns that would be great markets. But San Diego and Vegas are really the two that are on our radar. Look, Garber has been in San Diego. He's had press conferences on the USS Midway when many of us thought that the replacement for the Chargers was going to be an MLS team. We've talked to Landon Donovan.
I remember that so vividly. Yeah, dude, because again, being in promotions, when this was like in a full swing, we did one from the Midway, and we had to go down there. We had to set everything up, and I met a bunch of these MLS people, and I'm thinking like, this is a done. The mayor was there at the time, old crooked Kevin Faulkner.
Is this Soccer City?
Yeah, this is a time when the Chargers were being essentially booted. By the way,
Pretty much.
just on that note, like, does everybody now see that John Moores brilliantly navigated everything he wanted? He wanted the Chargers out of Mission Valley so that his construction company could build the stadium for the school. I mean, like, it was all about money. Everything was about money, and it was billionaire versus billionaire.
They got loan game. It's called the loan con. They got loan conned.
Yeah. And so, but that's, again, it's ancient history now. And so when Soccer City was saying, look, we're going to be the alternative to the Chargers, and you called him Crooked Kevin, the mayor, he had already done this backroom deal with the Soccer City guys, who, by the way, I knew, and two of them were like real friends of mine. And I wanted to support that because when it was obvious that the Chargers were leaving, what's going to replace it? Nobody thought soccer would be the replacement per se, but it would at least be something. And I still think it would be awesome for San Diego to get an MLS team, especially when you've got, two MLS teams right up the road in LA. So you talk about like instant natural Dodgers Padres. I mean, LAFC versus SDFC. That would be so cool.
Can I say something real quick? Because I already know that there's people out there, because every time I post anything about the MLS coming to San Diego on any social media platform, this person is still out there. And I just want to say, it's not like we have a choice of getting an NFL team back. And it's not like we have a choice of bringing in an NBA team here. It's not like we have a choice of bringing in an NHL team. Opportunities present themselves when they present themselves. This is an opportunity that is currently presenting itself, and you would be stupid, like Browner always says, to have the whatever number market in the country, not television, but people. You would be stupid to not want every single one of those things here. MLS, NBA, NHL. But right now, MLS is currently presenting itself as an opportunity, which is why we are discussing that. So when that person is listening to this and they're like, who cares about MLS? Bring back the NFL. Let's be realistic for a second and just talk about what is in front of you and what can happen right now.
Yeah. By the way, bring back the NFL. We all agree.
Yeah.
We all love to see the NFL come back, but I would just ask that same person and anybody else the same question. Where do you want them to play? You want them to play at Petco?
That's the biggest reason
you want them to play
why
at,
MLS
at Snapdragon? Really? Go to Snapdragon and tell me if you believe what you were sold, which is we can expand this to 60,000. Go check it out. Go do it.
I mean, it's definitely expandable. I don't know about 60,000. There's definitely they didn't put a roof on this thing for a reason. They didn't put it looks incomplete for a reason.
Dude, if you think you're going to put 60,000 people in there, you're going to need a whole nother year of construction.
Oh, no, more. But regardless, that stadium's not built to accommodate an NFL team in the future.
The footprint is not.
Dude, but the stadium itself is built to host mid-major college football and right now professional women's soccer and eventually MLS soccer. And for all of those sports, it's going to work out great. It's going to be great. It's a great facility, but it's not an NFL stadium. So
but that's also the reason.
Yeah.
That stadium is the reason why MLS will eventually be here.
Absolutely. 1,000%. The reason MLS didn't come 5-6 years ago, there was no place for them to play. And even though MLS has said, or, around the country, we want our own stadiums for our teams, they could come to San Diego and they could eventually say, you know what? Mission Valley is not the best place for us. We think being in Oceanside's better because we can draw from Orange County. They may say, no, it's better to go south because we can draw from south of the border. Whatever. The bottom line, though, is that Snapdragon Stadium is a very nice sized college football stadium and a perfect stadium for Major League Soccer. And I think, just by the way, based on television ratings, anytime there's a U.S. men's or women's national team game or World Cup games, even with teams that don't include the U.S., when you look at TV ratings in San Diego for all of this soccer, people in San Diego love soccer. And I think, I'm not joking, I honestly think you could get 30,000 people every single time an MLS team plays here in San Diego.
In San Diego. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Easy if you do it right. If you get the right player, if you get a recognizable athlete to be the face of the team, me as not even a soccer fan, if I can recognize the person that you can get in a uniform for this city, I'd go to that.
Yeah.
Every 30,000 people would go to that. That's not asking a lot here.
No, it's
Also,
not.
if they do eventually come here, the 35,000 seat stadium,
Mhm.
I believe, will be the largest in all of MLS.
Oh,
Which is
interesting.
crazy.
I mean, that's okay. The 35. I'm trying to figure out what you're saying because you've got, like, for example, you've got, Seattle plays where the Seahawks play,
Mhm.
and Atlanta plays where the Falcons play. So those guys are playing in NFL stadiums,
Like soccer-specific MLS stadium, it would be the largest.
Mm.
You obviously, like the ones you just said, but those were already there. Those were
Yeah, but
built
like you look
for
at
NFL teams.
right, but you look at like San Jose, for example. San Jose's got a really nice looking soccer stadium.
Yeah.
Probably holds like
Look at
20,000,
just
25,000.
look no further than the current champions in LAFC and their 22,000 capacity stadium.
Right, and it's a really cool stadium.
Very cool stadium.
This year, dude, we got to make a commitment. We got to go to a bunch of LAFC games. And I'll tell you something right now. Whoever is involved in this group that's going to bring MLS to San Diego, and I know Landon Donovan, we talked a lot several months ago before he left for the World Cup to broadcast on Fox about what was going on and how the loyal may or may not get themselves involved in all of this. But what LAFC did to build a fan base before they ever played a game, that's what you got to do. I mean, you got to look at them as the model and go, you got to get this town jumping and excited before this team ever even plays. Because the Loyal have done a very good job of that. But we're really talking about like 5,000 or 6,000 people at USD. We're not talking about 30 some odd thousand for what is, the big leagues of American sports, because Major League Soccer, right after the NFL, Major League Baseball, the NBA, Major League Soccer, I think is right there now with NHL hockey, I think.
And if you insert Snapdragon Stadium into the MLS rankings, it is the 8th largest stadium in the entire league.
Oh, how about that?
So bring the All-Star game here.
Oh, I mean, bring whatever here.
Yeah, bring it all.
Bring it all.
I mean, seriously, bring an academy, develop kids through
I
your
think
program.
The important is that they have the stadium. It's number one. They can
Mhm.
automatically start playing. And number two, this is a group that seems to be backed by a lot of money, which is equally as important.
The most important
Yeah,
thing.
really. I mean, because it takes a lot, man. I mean, 20 years ago, you could have bought an MLS franchise for a couple, $10 million, let's just say.
Right.
MLS franchises are now, and this is expansion franchise. I mean, it could cost you probably upwards of $1 billion.
And I don't know how I do know that you guys don't pay attention, but just look at what the Tijuana Cholos have been doing lately to their stadium, because they have this influx of people. At least when I was working there, it was like 5,000 to 6,000 Americans. This is pre-COVID,
Mhm.
going to every single Cholos game when their stadium was like 20,000. Now they've closed the entire thing up. They put the largest big screen in all of Mexico in the stadium, and they're getting all these people. Now that COVID's over, they're getting all these people back in there. It is the Tijuana and San Diego is the border, is the literally the gateway to each other's markets.
Mhm.
So MLS wants that market. So when you say they want to be in North County, no, they want to be closer to the border because they want to go
border.
down. They got LAFC, they got the
Mhm.
Galaxy. They don't have anything in Mexico. And now the America, the biggest soccer team in Mexico, they're
Mhm.
playing a regular season game at Snapdragon Stadium this
That's
year.
cool. That's really cool.
There is a gateway to each other's markets, and San Diego is the key.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, hey, listen, he says, Don Garber, the commissioner of the MLS, before the end of the year, what are we waiting for? Let's do a beautiful thing, baby. You know what I'm saying? All right. Hey, I want to get into an update on Grande's San Diego State Aztec basketball team because I have been like an absentee Aztec fan all season long. I'll get there in just a matter of moments. Quick heads up for everybody. You're thinking about buying or leasing a car right now. These car dealers, I'm telling you, if you watch any TV commercials, you'll see they're coming up with all kinds of deals. Reason being, and I had this conversation not long ago with Alan, the general manager up at Mazda of Escondido, a Penske dealership. And Alan was telling me that, remember a year ago, if you had a used car, the value had actually gone up of the used car. That's over, man. That happened. It was an anomaly. And now your used car is depreciating every day, including mine. But here's the thing. These car dealers are having to get more creative with their deals than ever before because last year there was tons of demand, very low supply. This year, there's tons of supply, not as much demand. Interest rates have gone up. So the dealers are coming up with interesting incentives. That's Penske San Diego. They're going to find a way to make it affordable to get you in the vehicle you want. They've got 12 dealerships. They represent 9 brands, and their website, you can find everything. PenskeSanDiego.com. Over 1,000 vehicles in stock right now throughout the county. PenskeSanDiego.com. Use the website because when you say, hey, we're going to actually go to Lexus of San Diego as an example, here are the 3 cars I'm most interested in, they'll have them sitting there waiting for you. Because you've kind of told them already online what you're most interested in. It's fun, it's fast, it's easy. PenskeSanDiego.com. All right, Alex, we're going to hand this off to you. We need an update.
Me?
Well, because San Diego State played last night, and I told you I was at the Hotel Del jamming out, getting kicked out by security. So I didn't see the game. I've only read about it. Give us the Aztec update.
Aztec defense looking classic, very, very Steve Fisher-like, only allowing 3 3-pointers last night, as opposed to last time they played in Colorado, they allowed 11. So just really suffocating defense, didn't allow much. And their last game, the Aztecs literally could not buy a bucket. I think they scored, was it 44 total points or something like that? They scored 41 in the first half yesterday. That's how it went. So they bounced back well. They currently have a 1.5-game lead in the Mountain West with 3 games remaining. That is it. 3 games remaining, 2 on the road. The final game at home on March 4th against Wyoming. And then we head to Mountain West tournament. So looking good. And they actually dropped a spot this week in the rankings because of that performance. Even though they won, they still dropped a spot. So they are currently ranked number 22 in the AP poll.
All right, 13-2 in conference play. Puts them in first place in the Mountain West. They're 22-5 overall. So if you have been like me and you just haven't really been paying as much attention, I mean, I think the last game I saw, who was it, a couple of weeks ago? They played at like 8 p.m. on CBS Sports
8
Network.
8 p.m. last night.
Yeah, what was the game previous to that anyway? Maybe Utah State, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I just haven't been as connected to the San Diego State basketball program as I had been throughout the entire Steve Fisher era and into the Brian Dutcher era. So just for those of you that are like me, that this basketball season has kind of come and college hoops hadn't been top of mind.
The only game I will go to this year is the first round of the Mountain West tournament. I didn't make it to Viejas this year. I always do make it to a couple for whatever reason, circumstances, but I will be going to Vegas this year. It's my first ever time going to the Mountain West tournament. So I'm stoked.
Yeah.
I don't know who they're going to play. I don't know what time they're going to play. Obviously nobody knows yet, but I feel a little disconnected because I just never made it to Viejas this year. And I'm normally there like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times a year.
I know. Me too. I mean, my goodness, there were some years probably between, let's see, what was Kawhi's sophomore year? Was that 2012, 2011, 2010? I'm trying
around
to
there.
Yeah. I mean, there was a time where, I was almost at every game, because it was so exciting and it was so fun. And I had those front row seats.
And this team going into the season, they have what all the experts say you need for the tournament. They have experienced guard play and they have size. So they could be a really good tournament team. I think that their defense is key. Sometimes it looks great, sometimes it doesn't. And this team can shoot, but sometimes they only throw up 45 points against Fresno State. So
let's hear what Coach Dutcher said last night. Can we hear it?
Yep.
Well, that's a good, hard-fought win, and I was nervous about it. They're very dangerous offensively, and I still have memories of Tunjay hitting a corner 3 on Jordan Shackle to win the game against us not so many years ago here. So if you don't learn from the past, you can repeat it, and we were ready to play. We knew how dangerous Stevens and Tunjay were, but we did a good job. And they're dangerous offensively. I think they shot 50% the second half, but I think our defensive pressure caused them issues. We forced 16 turnovers, which was a good thing. The first game we played them, they had 11 threes. They only had 3 tonight. I just feel like we're a hard team to beat if you don't make a lot of threes because we're hard to score on around the basket.
Tell you what, as we're listening to Coach Dutcher, and by the way, there's a lot of Steve Fisher in that tone, He sounds a little bit like Coach Fisher. As I was watching the highlights as we were listening to Coach, man, the arena looked packed. I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I may not have been down there so far this year, but the arena looked jam-packed.
12,414, 100% capacity last night.
Yeah, how about that?
They're doing good, man. They're a solid college basketball team. They're a solid tournament team. I watched maybe a little bit, maybe 4 or 5 minutes before the second half last night. I like it, but whether they can go deeper totally depends on defense. Because in the tournament, everybody shoots threes. Everybody shoots threes. Some little team you never heard of will shoot the lights out. And so their physicality will be a massive factor on how far they go in the tournament.
Yeah.
So they'll make the tournament.
I mean, to me, it's kind of like, you know how people don't like the NBA regular season and they're like, just let's get to the playoffs. That's kind of me with college basketball. Like, let's just get to the tournament. You know, let's get to the conference tournaments, and then let's get to the NCAA tournament. And like most of America, that's when I kind of start paying attention. All right, stick around. Coming up, speaking of basketball, I know a lot of people this past weekend were like, the All-Star game. I'm not into that. I mean, maybe you liked Mac McClung winning the slam dunk contest, like get up white boy, little, tiny guy who looks as normal and average as anybody else. But the All-Star ratings, like in the tank. We'll get to that story coming up. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios here on Kaplan and Crew.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Brought to you by MedCline. Sleep better, feel better, live better.
Locally owned and operated, not some bland, uninspired, corporate, cookie-cutter radio station crap. We simply say to those stations, Q. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Murray Lampert now brings architectural and interior design to a whole new level for your remodel, ADU, or whole house build.
We're truly a team at Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel, and we don't take that lightly.
Visit murraylampert.com.
This is a huge wall. I'm sure it presented some challenges.
You're right, Sarah. And what it was in the model we noticed that it was too much wood. This was supposed to be clad. And with the beautiful stairs and railings, we realized that we need to come up with a different finish. So we used these reglets that are metal with the drywall, and it gave it this grid look that also matches up with the beams.
Wow, that came out beautiful. If you want to see how they conquered more design challenges, check out Our Family, Your Home.
Sponsored by The Barnes Firm. Proud to support Black History Month. Car crash? Call 1-800-8-million for a free consultation.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to your home, our experience plus our strong relationship with the city makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
At Murray Lampert, we listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylampert.com.
If you're going to count yourself as a fan of this radio station, you'll need to continuously ask yourself one basic question. Am I listening enough? Pro tip, wives are not a good source for input on this. This is the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to your home, our experience plus our strong relationship with the city makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
At Murray Lampert, we listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylampert.com.
For many consumers, sleeping at night should be an easy experience. For many, it's not. There are a number of reasons for that, most notably those that suffer from acid reflux or heartburn. There are also many individuals dealing with various pains or ailments. MedCline is a sleep solution company with our goal to allow people to have a healthy and peaceful night's sleep. And we do that with our therapeutic side sleeping systems. Our patented, clinically studied MedCline relief systems are designed to place an adult in an elevated side sleeping position, which can help them reduce the symptoms or issues they're dealing with. MedCline systems are registered with the FDA, and as a medical product, MedCline systems are qualified for use with FSA and HSA funds. For anyone looking for more information, you can visit medcline.com/sleepbetter.
Hey everybody, this is Scott Kaplan from Kaplan and Crew Tonight here on Cox Your View. Just want to tell everybody that Cox TV home base throughout Southern California, but you can get us on radio on 1090. You can get us on our YouTube channel, all the different audio podcast platforms. And I want to say thank you very much to a San Diego-based company that's selling all over the world. That's MedCline, MEDCLINE, medcline.com. They're going to change the way you sleep. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.